We know we have a lot of products that we can use in the lawn setting, but there's also a lot of products that we can't use in the lawn setting. And a lot of these are meant for landscape areas. So we want to make sure that we determine what the product's for and what the label's for by reading it, and determine that we're using the product correctly within the right area. For pre-emergence in the landscape, a lot of them are the same as in turf, but they might be targeted for a landscape bed or a garden. Some of these that would include that would be the same ones: pendimethalin, prodiamine, and dithiopyr. Also isoxapen would be another one in the landscapes. So these are going to be spread over the mulched areas or over the rocked areas to prevent weeds from coming through. Once again, if you don't have a lot of weed pressure and you do a pre-emergent, the easiest way to take care of those weeds in a landscape is by pulling or hoeing them, because if we do a pre-emergent herbicide, those weeds are going to be limited, and it's going to be a little counterintuitive to apply more product where we can just control them in a split second by just pulling one or two here and there. If we do have a weed problem, some of those other products that are ground clear or Roundup 365, some of the areas where we don't have shrubs or flowers, those products can be applied because there's no other vegetation that's growing there and we want it to stay clean. So some of those might contain imazapyr or imazapic, usually contain glyphosate, which would be the non-selective, and then those imazapyr and imazapic would be basically keeping anything from growing for the next 6 months. So if we apply those in an area where we're planting flowers, it's going to be a problem. So another couple ones would be diquat, which is a quick contact herbicide that burns down the plants. If we're looking for something that we can use within the garden or around the garden, there's a couple products that are commonly used or have been commonly used for a long time. One would be Preen, and that one is safe to use within the garden setting in the vegetables or even in the flowers. And there's another product that Preen makes that has isoxapen in it, and that's targeted more for the landscape beds. And that's going to help a lot with some of those broadleaf weeds such as spurge and other ones that we get throughout the summer. So using those correctly can help keep your plants safe and also your vegetables safe. There's a couple other ones like post-emergent herbicides within the landscape bed that we can use. There's some organic products that are allowed. One of them, it's called Ground Clear from Ortho, and that one is ammonium nonanoate, and that one is like a soapy salt that basically burns down the weeds, and it's organic, so we can use it around areas that are a little bit more sensitive, but we still want to make sure that we're targeted in on the weeds that we want to kill and not the ones that we want to save. Another option for an organic one would be 20% vinegar, and they usually sell that in most stores. And with that rate, it's going to kill pretty much any weed or grass that we get that product on. So there's a couple organic options if we're not going to be pulling the weeds and we still want to spray them. Those would be good to use around those areas. So if we're getting into like the lawn, or not the lawn, but the driveway or rocky areas that don't have any plants, there's a lot of products that can be sprayed that will control weeds for the entire year. So we want to use those in those areas, but don't mix it up and use it in a garden setting or a flower setting where we're going to be doing damage to some of those plants.